Yeah, so labor has been the way that economists and philosophers over the century have traditionally uh, explored capitalism. Um, so that is part of our mission here in Gen Ed IH, of course, to um, give you the background, to give you the history, to give you the sort of primary texts that have animated discussions about numerous topics, a roadmap. So that's one reason why we're doing labor. The other reason, though, is that it is a very, although maybe a little sort of outdated or whatever, it is a very good way, I think, to really open up the system of of capitalism and to explore the logic of capitalism. So the other methods that I mentioned or other approaches that I mentioned, um, they're sometimes a little, uh, you know, harder. We live those things every day. We live ourselves as a consumer every day, and we're immersed in it. So I don't know. I just find it. I find it. Sticking with the idea of labor is still a useful way to explore. Capitalism. That it gives us a way to sort of step out of ourselves, step out of the system, and see things. So I still think it's useful, and that's why we're going to be problematizing that. Okay. Um, and I think it's a good. So the whole point of what we're trying to do here is to try to understand capitalism as a system, and a system that has a certain logic. Um, and so I think using labor is a good way to do that. And the basic point is, just because we're all capitalists, and we are all capitalists, whether we agree with it or we don't agree with it, whether we like it, love it, or hate it. Uh, we're all capitalists, right? And we experience it every day, but um, we don't. That doesn't mean that it's easy for us to know what it is or to talk about it. And again, I think labor is not only the classic way to talk about, but also a good way to talk about it. To really, help you wrap your mind around, a systematic expression or systematic network that, is tough to really get your mind around and tough to really, uh, turn into an object for philosophical and political discussion. Okay, so what is capital?